Hello everybody, welcome back to a GCSE maths video. In this video we'll be looking at indices with negative and zero values. So let's first of all think about this sequence. Think about what happens when we raise 2 to the power of something. So 2 to the power of 3, that's 2 times 2 times 2, right? So it looks like this, 2 times 2 times 2. And that is going to be 8. And then 2 squared, so 2 to the power of 2 is just 2 times 2, and that's going to be 4. Now 2 to the power of 1, you've got, just 2 times not by itself, it's just on its own. And so that is going to be 2. And then 2 to the power of 0, interestingly, that is just 1. And that's true for any number to the power of 0. It's always going to be 1. Okay, so now what happens when we have something to the negative power? So 2 to the minus 1, it's going to be 1 over 2, so you just flip it. Okay, and then 2 to the minus 2, again, that's going to be 1 over 2 squared. So get rid of that minus by flipping the original kind of term here. And then you can evaluate that. So that's going to be 1 over 4. Same thing here. So 1 over 2 cubed. And evaluate that. That's 1 over 8. So the first thing, kind of the steps when you have something to the power of a negative, is first of all to flip it and then kind of undo that denominator there. So let's just do a couple of examples. So let's do 4 to the minus 2. Well, that's going to be 1 over 4 squared, which is 1 over 16. What about 5 to the minus 2? Well, that's going to be 1 over 5 squared, which is going to be 1 over 25. Okay, and then what about 5 to the minus 3? Well, that's going to be 1 over 5 cubed, which is going to be equal to 1 over 125. So you can kind of see what we're doing here. First of all, you're flipping it, and then you're, timesing out that denominator. Okay, so let's look at some general rules here. We've kind of been over them, but it's nice to see it for what it is. So we've got x to the minus 1, that's always going to be equal to 1 over x. So 2 to the minus 1, that's going to be 1/2. 3 to the minus 1, that's going to be 1/3. Then x to the minus n, when n is any number, is going to be 1 over that base number, so x to the power of n. Okay? And then x to the power of 0, again, no matter what x is, that's always going to equal 1. Okay, so now we've gone through the theory, let's have a go at some examples. So 2 to the minus 1. Okay, so let's just look back at our rules. What do we do here? Well, that's this rule here. That's 1 over 2. 3 to the minus 1. That, again, we're just going to flip it. 1 over 3. 4 to the minus 1. Just going to flip it. 1 over 4. 7 to the minus 1. You're going to flip it. That's 1 over 7. And then 20 to the minus 1. Just going to flip it. 1 over 20. Okay, so that's going to work no matter the number. Okay. So now let's have a look at these. So they're all to the power of 0. Remember what we said before, anything to the power of 0 is going to equal 1. So 2 to the power of 0, that's going to be 1. 3 to the power of 0, that's going to be 1. 4 to the power of 0, that's going to be 1. 10 to the power of 0, 1. 51 to the power of 0, again, that's going to be 1. Okay, so now we've got a bit of mixed practice here. So 2 to the power of 3, there's no negative here, so we're just going to treat that normally. That's going to be 2 times 2 times 2. That's going to be 8. Okay, now what about 2 to the minus 3? What do we have to do? Well, the first step is to take the reciprocal. So that's going to be 1 over 2 to the power of 3. And now we can evaluate that denominator. So that's going to be 1 over 8. Okay, now 2 to the power of 0, anything to the power of 0 is going to be 1. Okay, what about 3 to the power of minus 2? Well, first of all, let's take the reciprocal, so 1 over 3 squared, and then evaluate 1 over 9. Okay, and then 4 to the power of minus 2, take the reciprocal, 1 over 4 squared, evaluate 1 over 16. 5 to the minus 2, reciprocal, 1 over 5 squared, and then evaluate 1 over 25. And then 2 to the power of 4. What do we do here? Well, we've got no negative, so no reciprocal needs to be taken. That is just going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And that is going to be 16. Okay, so you can see here that there's a clear procedure. Whenever you've got anything to the power of 0, always going to be 1. Whenever you have anything to the negative, there's kind of 2 steps. So the first step is to take the reciprocal, and the second step is to evaluate the denominator.